Drew, it is so good to see you. We have yet another vitally important video for all of our beloved federal employees out there. We're talking about the Social Security mistake. I was so surprised to learn that only 4% of people claim Social Security at the most financially optimal time. The remaining 96% are missing out on $3.4 trillion. That's $111,000 per household. This is according to Forbes. So, of course, Drew, this underscores the fact that Social Security is a very complicated program and it's not just a financial equation. So, what should we be considering when we're trying to figure out when to claim?
Yeah, the big thing to think about with Social Security, everybody loves the word maximization, but a better word to be thinking about is the word optimization. And optimization is talking about when it is best for you. And that is the
Right.
big thing to think. It's an equation. So obviously, the later you wait, the more you're going to get. The big thing you need to understand, though, is how does that fit into your retirement objectives and plans? And will you actually make more money taking it sooner? Because if you wait, you're giving up a lot of checks to get
Right.
that slightly larger amount. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
Right. If we knew the day we were leaving this planet, then we could tell you the day
Yes,
that you
yes,
need to
exactly.
claim. Yeah, that's why it's a bit difficult. So I was also surprised again to learn, Drew, that 1/3 of people claim as soon as they're eligible at 62. It's known as panic claiming. Why is that?
Well, it goes along with for federal employees also like your pension. Just because you're at the time that you could retire and you can now receive your pension doesn't necessarily mean if that's the best financial decision for you. The problem a lot of people make is they think of Social Security kind of in a vacuum and not that there's all these other pieces, all of these other parts of your retirement that's going on. So maybe it's better for you to wait a little bit to claim, or maybe to work another year or two that gets you in a more comfortable space that doesn't make it really, really tight going into retirement.
Mhm. And how do these strategies change if we're married?
As confusing as Social Security is, just how they calculate it alone for individuals, there are more rules that go into it with spouses. With
Yeah.
spousal bonuses, there's widower benefits. So you really need to be thinking about your claiming strategy as a household if you have a spouse and not just individual, especially if you're going to have a large age gap between your spouse.
Mhm.
When you take your Social Security could greatly affect your spouse if you pass and they're into their retirement years.
So we recently learned that the COLA, the cost of living adjustment for 2026, will be 2.8%. Does this affect when we should claim? And do we still get that COLA even if we don't claim?
Yes. So this is something to consider, but it should not be the main thing that you use to
Right.
consider because this goes into the Social Security calculation. The other thing you have to think about is each year your amounts change a little bit because you've added another year of work to it. Remember, your number is based off of the 35 highest years of income. That's what goes into the equation. So that's going to affect things too. But I don't think going back to the 62 being a panic claim, just because you notice there was a large COLA, doesn't mean that that's a time that you should panic claim then because it could have big implications on retirement.
Right. You still get that COLA down the
Yes.
road when you do
hmm
claim. All
Yeah.
right. One of the other questions that comes up all the time is how is Social Security taxed? A lot of people don't even realize that it is taxed. And how can we lower that tax bite?
Yes. So that is a key part in your retirement plan that you need to think about. Social Security is taxed depending on how much you've spent or made that year. And there's different percentages, and it's a sliding percent. The one thing to think about, a lot of people have some misconceptions about the big, beautiful bill that came out. They were thinking that's going to be Trump's promise that he had about eliminating Social Security tax. It did not eliminate Social Security
Right.
tax. It helped us in the standard deduction to where a portion of people's Social Security wouldn't be taxed as much, but there's special rules that go into that too. So that's something you need to pay attention to. The other thing is you could have up to 85% of your Social Security taxed depending on how you are taking your money in retirement. So like this visual here, if you're taking from traditional IRAs, traditional 401ks that have tax implications, that affects your Social Security a lot more than if you have a Roth or some other tax-free options. So trying to get that money into the tax-free realm to help with your Social Security. Now, that doesn't mean you should take from those right away either. So I'm trying not to throw too many confusing things out there, but not to beat a dead horse, there's just so many things that go into this that you can really hurt your Social Security if you're not paying attention to the other things that are going on to retirement.
Right. This was just kind of a almost 6-minute video to say this really is a personalized calculation.
Yes.
There is no one rule that's going to fit everyone, even though,
Mhm.
of course, we can say, yeah, wait until you're 70. Well, that might not be right for you. And of
Yeah.
course, the calculation changes, Drew, with federal employees and their unique benefits, which is why we'd like to take a moment to remind them that we do have a really great resources and
Yeah.
videos tab. Walk us through how to find it, please.
So you can go to our website, which is millardfg.com. And there we have a Fed Employee Benefits tab. On there, you can sign up to meet with us to kind of talk about this more. We can talk about specific federal benefits you have, Social Security, a lot of other things. You can also, at the bottom, there's a lot of resources there for you that you can use and look into some things on your own as well.
Right. And I know that you're also leading Social Security specific seminars right now, so people can
Yes.
find out those dates as well
Mhm.
on your website. And how else can we get a hold of you? What's the phone number, Drew?
So you can also call us here at the office. The number is 260-488-8300. And we'd love to chat and help as much as we can.
Great. Drew, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.